Over the last few years, Hyundai's really been stepping up their game, and that's no different with this Hyundai Sonata. And today, in this video, we're going to decide whether or not this Hyundai Sonata belongs with the likes of the Camry and the Accord, which are some of the best-selling mid-size sedans. So is this just as good, if not better, as those? We're going to take a full detailed look at the exterior details, hop inside, take a look at the interior, and of course, take it out on the road and go for a drive. And I'm going to hit on different points of what's similar and different than both the Camry and the Accord. Let's get started. All right, let's take a look at all these exterior details. So this is the top end limited trim for this 2021 Hyundai Sonata. Now, price-wise, I'll put the price on the screen, the MSRP of this one, and I'll try to build some Camrys and Accords with similar specs and the smaller engines to see how they all compare. Now, right up front, Hyundai gives you some really unique daytime running lights. Take a look at this. It actually is this chrome piece that runs down, and there's a transition point to where it turns into a daytime running light. And then it wraps down into the headlight there, and those are full LED headlights, high and low beams. The grille's gonna vary depending on hybrid or trim level, but you got a large, low, catfish looking grille, as some people would say. Cascading grille, glossy black, and you can see this turns into the blinker over here, so that looks really nice. I have a night video with the hybrid model in Hampton Gray showing these off if you want to check them out, but these headlights do a very good job. And compared to the Camry and Accord, those all get LED high and low beams as well. This paint color is called Portofino Gray. It's got a very nice metallic-y flake to it. It looks good. And styling wise, I'd love to know what your thoughts are, especially compared to Camry and Accord. Hyundai's wheel designs are always pretty interesting lately. These are 18-inch wheels. You've got the two-tone, the glossy black inside with that silver. It looks very interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. But it's not the massive wheels that you're gonna see on some cars. So I like that they're not huge wheels, which can affect the ride quality. On the side body, you'll see those mirrors get indicators in them. They also have blind spot monitoring, and the door handles on this limited trim give us a little chrome piece on top of those door handles to match the chrome on the window. And then design-wise, this gives you that fastback looking design, the very fast sloping rear end with the one big solid line that comes all the way from the front of the vehicle. And dimensionally, this is 193 inches long, which puts it at 1 inch longer than both the Accord and the Camry. So they're very similar in size dimensionally. The Sonata gives you LED taillights back here as well. And you can see you've got connecting taillights. So you have that light bar that runs all the way in between. And then you've got an LED turn signal that's red, that is not amber like Camry and Accord. Then you've got a double exhaust outlet down there with a glossy black diffuser. Now, when you compare this to the Camry and the Accord, here's something that you won't find on either of those. It's a hands-free trunk. Literally with the Hyundais, a lot of Hyundais, if you just stand next to it for a few seconds, it'll beep a couple times and then it'll pop it up. You don't have to wave your foot, you don't have to touch anything. It's just automatic. Now, a closer look at the trunk. This is a very spacious trunk for this class especially. So you have a pretty good size opening. The hinges are exposed just like they are in the Accord, but otherwise you still get very good space overall back here. You've got split folding seats right there. There is 16 cubic feet. That's a little bit less than the Accord and a little bit more than the Camry. So it sits right in the middle. And just like the others, they all get a spare tire, which is always great to see. Now, Hyundai gives you their smart key system on here, including remote start. You can open up your trunk, and you've got smart park, which is something you don't get on the other cars. I'll show you that in a second. The smart key is just for the front doors. You've got a little section here that you can press to lock it. Otherwise, there's a sensor in the back of the handle to unlock it, and then it's easy to get in and out. But smart park works like this. If you get in a tight parking spot or something like that, you've probably seen commercials for it. First, you have to start the car. And then you've got a forward or a backwards button. Watch this. If I press and hold, you see the lights turn on, you can hear the car shift. And as long as I hold it, it just inches forward. That can help you get in and out of a parking spot. Now watch me go back. This is something you don't find in Camry Accord. And it's kind of a gimmick. I haven't ever used it in the time I've had the Sonata, but it's something that you don't get in the other ones. Now, a closer look at the front seats. So you've got leather seats in here. These are perforated leather seats with some kind of mild bolstering, nothing aggressive here. They are not super plush, but they have a little bit of cushion to them. They may not be the most comfortable, but I think most people will be comfortable in these seats overall. Like I said, they are leather, and you've got technically 10-way power adjustment. So you've got your tilt, height adjustment, regular, and then 2-way lumbar support. That's about the same as the Camry. The Accord will give you 4-way lumbar support. You also get 2-position memory settings on the door. The Accord does too, but the Camry doesn't. These seats also are heated and ventilated, just like the Camry and the Accord. And I think one of my complaints, just like I have with the Camry, is that the headrest is a little bit intrusive if you actually like to sit back in your seat. The headrest is just far forward, which can be annoying. The Accord, I didn't really have that problem. But check this out. Since we have memory settings, you can do the entry-exit system, to where you can have the seat automatically move for you to your preferred position. And the steering wheel is leather wrapped. It's got tilt and telescoping right here, and it's all manual adjustable. It's also heated all the way around. A nice heated steering wheel. So a quick conclusion, they're all going to give you heated and ventilated leather seats. The Toyota does not give you memory settings like this does. This also gives you a heated steering wheel, which the Accord does not. Can't remember on the Camry. So this gives you basically everything that those give you, plus a little bit more, but the Accord gives you 4-way lumbar support. Then moving into the back seat, I'll talk about legroom in just a second, but this actually gives you some soft material up above. I can't remember if Camry and Accord do. I feel like one of them doesn't. But you've got a nice big soft armrest here and a really small storage area down there. But in terms of legroom back here is good. It's not as good as the Camry, or excuse me, as the Accord. It's a little bit better than the Camry. And when I talk about legroom, I'm talking about the combination of front and rear legroom combined, because Hyundai technically quotes a ton of front legroom and not much rear legroom, but all combined, this is in between the Camry and the Accord, and let me show you. So sitting behind myself at 5'9", as you can see, I've got plenty of knee space. I've still got good foot space as well. There is a hump in the middle, so middle passengers might not be quite as comfortable. You get air conditioning vents in every vehicle, or every one of these competitors here. And then you got this one charging port. I think the other ones give you 2 charging ports, but otherwise this is pretty similar. Of course, you get this center folding armrest with cup holders. And I can sit up tall with plenty of room. I can just kind of barely feel my hair touching. I feel like I was a little more crammed in the Accord, but legroom for the Accord is great. Otherwise, the Accord gives you heated rear seats, and this one does not. Now a quick look at the interior. Looking at the door, you've got a soft material up here, and a nice large armrest. And I love this giant grab area right here. You can even put keys or phone over there if you want to, but it's just a really nice material. Front windows are automatic one touch, and then the storage area down here is pretty small. There is a bottle holder, but my large bottle, it fits just barely. Hyundai gives you some easy to use interior controls over here, like your brightness, lane keeping system, and parking brake. The steering wheel is leather wrapped and heated. Like I said, it's a very unique design with this like bent spoke right here, spot for your hand, good bulky grips up top, and some paddle shifters. Foot on the brake, start it up. And Hyundai gives you a fully digital display in front of you. This is entirely digital, nothing is analog like there is on Honda and Toyota. One interesting feature from Hyundai is the blind view monitor. So you literally will signal, and that's a camera coming from the mirror that shows your lane next to you. Honda and Toyota don't do this. Honda actually used to do it. They called it lane watch, where they had it on the screen, but they don't do that anymore. There's a lot of information that you can scroll through on here. Just like Toyota and Honda, it's just presented differently on here compared to them. You'll also get rain sensing windshield wipers. And then coming over here, Hyundai gives you a larger screen than both of those. This one is measured from corner to corner and it's more rectangular, whereas Honda and Toyota are more square shaped, but you still get a physical knob. Otherwise, everything else is touchscreen, and Honda and Toyota give you more physical buttons. This gives you more touchscreen, so it just depends what you like with that. But this is easy to operate. I really don't have any complaints with it. I actually like this more than for example, the newest Hyundai Kia touchscreen type of stuff. But Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard. There's no wireless Apple CarPlay on this limited trim, which is a bummer. Even though you get wireless charging, you can get wireless CarPlay on the Honda Accord. This also has a 12-speaker Bose sound system that does sound pretty nice. Camry gets the JBL sound system that sounds good, and Honda doesn't get anything special, and theirs does not sound very good. Another note is there's a head-up display on here from Hyundai. Toyota and Honda both give you head-up displays as well. Dual zone climate control is on here just like Honda and Toyota, but like I said, heated steering wheel, then you got your ventilated and heated seat controls right there, so you and your passenger are good to go. I like the layout, very simple and easy to use, and much better than the all touchscreen system in some newer Hyundais like the Tucson and Santa Cruz. Then down there you've got a couple different USB charging ports, and then a 12-volt power outlet and this wireless charging mat, so that is also very nice. You get a push button shifter just like the top end Honda Accord, and then coming back even a little further, you got your drive mode selections, brake hold, your smart parking sensors, and then a 360-degree camera. So let's turn that on. Go into gear and check it out. You've got a frontal camera, a top-down camera, and then you can see different views here. So I'm gonna go into reverse, and I really like how you can actually see the wheels and see the tires on there. You've got dynamic lines over there when you turn it. Toyota also gives you this, but Honda does not. Cup holders here are great, no complaints with that. I also like this little slot. My wallet fits in there perfectly, otherwise you could fit a phone or something like that. No complaints on cup holders with the other models as well. Then fairly soft armrest here. Let's go ahead and lift that up. And then no charging ports or anything, but it's a decent sized storage bin. Hyundai gives you a locking glove box as well. You'll find an automatic dimming rear view mirror up there. You've got all LED interior lighting here as well. And then you also get a panoramic roof. So the front opens up, but then you've got that back panel as well that stays fixed. Honda does not give you this, but Toyota does. And then one area that I believe this is better than Honda and Toyota is the visor. Toyota and Honda just give you the little pull-out piece, I believe, but this one lets you slide the entire visor. And one more thing, Hyundai gives you some ambient lighting, some nicer ambient lighting in my opinion compared to the others, because you can it's a little more customizable and you can change a lot of different colors on here. And I have a night video showing this off if you want to check that out. Now under the hood of the Sonata is where things are a little bit different than what you'll find in the Accord and the Camry. For this limited trim, you get one specific engine option. It's Hyundai's direct injected 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It's going to give you 180 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque paired with just a regular 8-speed automatic. The Accord gives you a 1.5 or a 2-liter turbocharged engine. The 1.5 liter comes with a CVT, whereas the 2 liter comes with a regular 10-speed automatic. The Camry gives you a 2.5 or 3.5 liter naturally aspirated engine and an automatic transmission. Miles per gallon is just a little bit lower than those at 27 city, 37 highway, and 31 miles per gallon combined. So efficiency is just a little bit underneath, and overall power is just a little bit underneath depending, but this can still give you the N-line version, which can give you up to 311 pound-feet of torque, which is more than both of those. Before we get into our test drive, one area that this separates itself from Camry and Accord is with its warranty, especially under the hood. This gets a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty, whereas the Camry and Accord just gets your basic 5-year, 60,000 mile warranty, which is still not bad, but this also gets a 5-year, $60,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty, where Camry and Accord are 3-year, 36,000 miles. So warranty, if reliability and durability over a period of time is your concern, at least you have the warranty. All right, let's go ahead and get on the road. But one thing I forgot to mention is that the Sonata and Accord are front wheel drive only, while the Camry has optional all-wheel drive. So just something to think about between all of these. But I really like that backup camera there, the 360 camera, and the lane keeping, or the lane cameras as well. But in this test drive, I'll talk about how this Sonata drives, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and maybe a bit about how it compares to the Camry and the Accord. Now, this has an 8-speed transmission, just like the Camry. This transmission seems to be smoother than the Camry's. The Camry's hit or miss. There's some 8-speeds with Toyota where they feel smooth, and sometimes where they're pretty jerky. I've had limited time in the Accord with either of those transmissions. But this car with this 1.6 liter turbo, it's nice and peppy, it's quick. It's a great city driver because with this turbo you get power very quickly and you don't have to really get on the throttle all that much. We'll talk about acceleration power a little more later, but the handling in here, or the weight of the steering, feels good also. It's not super lightweight and flimsy like some cars, but it's not real heavy like some either. It's pretty similar to Toyota and Honda. I think the Honda feels a little more nimble than this does, but we'll talk about the actual handling characteristics in just a bit. Ride comfort in here is good. So I really don't have complaints about the ride comfort. We can hit some bumps and it's fine. We can be on uneven pavement and it's fine. It's more comfortable than a lot of vehicles that I have been in lately, especially ones with large wheels. So ride comfort is definitely good. I think ride comfort and handling on this are a good balance of each, but the ride comfort's a little bit better than the handling. Now, I would say this is probably pretty similar to the Accord. I think it's a little softer than the Accord. And with the Camry, it depends if you're talking about the XSE or the XLE. The LE trims of the Camry I think are a little bit softer than this, but the SE trims of the Camry are stiffer. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Ergonomics wise in here is good. I like the armrest for the most part. The steering wheel controls are good. The visibility of the screen and that screen are good. Visibility out of the car is just fine, nothing out of the ordinary. And the touch screen is easy to get to. I like the physical controls for the air conditioning controls, unlike touchscreen for some cars. But let me go ahead and put it in, let's put it in sport mode. So this has a sport mode just like Camry and Accord, and it turns things red. It's going to make it a little bit more exciting. A little bit peppier. Now let's go ahead and get pedal down. And this is quick enough. This is definitely not bad. This isn't obviously going to be as fast as the 2-liter turbo for the Accord or the V6 for the Camry, but that's not what this is competing against. And this does a very nice job. Hyundai has done a good job of giving this a good balance of handling and driving characteristics, but also still being comfortable with ride comfort. It's got a built-in radar detector. I'm just kidding, that's the lane keeping system. But it's really peppy. This turbo is actually quite responsive. And like I said, it's a smooth transmission, much better than their 8-speed dual clutch transmission. And this is just partial pedal. I'm not even flooring that right there. I did way back there. But I think handling this is still a little bit subpar compared to Camry and Accord, but like I said, ride comfort is good and better than both of those if we're talking about the XSE Camry. Now I'm gonna put it back in smart mode. So this also has the lane keeping system, radar cruise control, just like Accord and Camry. And I think this does a little bit better, especially with its lane centering technology. The radar cruise control is very similar across the board between all of those. Now, one distinction between this and Camry and Accord is road noise. The Accord is the loudest of the bunch on different road surfaces and road noise. I have not yet been able to look at the Accord and Camry's actual decibel ratings, but I feel like this is quieter than both of those. The Camry's a little bit quieter than the Accord, and Hyundai gives us laminated glass here, so that's nice. It helps with wind noise, and we're on a rough textured road, so this picks up more noise than it typically would. Road noise isn't the best in here, but it's not bad either. I'll put the numbers on the screen. But I hope you kind of got an idea of what it's like to drive this Hyundai Sonata. It drives very nice, it's comfortable, it's easy to get used to and drive, and it's got a good ride comfort overall. I think that's my favorite thing. But let's go ahead and wrap things up on this Sonata. So to wrap things up, is this Hyundai Sonata worthy of the top notch like the Camry or the Accord as a best seller? It really depends what you're looking for, because if you're looking for features, this Sonata has them. It's got a ton of features, everything that the Camry and the Accord has for the most part, maybe even a little more in some areas. If you're looking for space, the Sonata is just as spacious as those for the most part. In most areas, the Accord has a little bit more space overall compared to both of them. Efficiency, they're all very similar. It's right in line, but a little bit less. Driving dynamics are all very similar as well, and you can still get this in a performance or a faster version like you can the Camry and the Accord. So value-wise, I think this is the best value. Some of the arguments might be that it doesn't hold its value as well as Honda or Toyota, and historically, it hasn't. But time will tell. This one's only been out for a couple of years, so we really don't know. And reliability might be another argument. We also don't know that. It's only been out for a couple of years, but at least it has a 10-year powertrain warranty. So, what do you think? It really depends on what you're looking for. Value, this is great. Accord and Camry are both good at so many things as well, so you really got to decide what's most important to you. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. I truly appreciate you watching. If you liked it, a thumbs up is very helpful. Subscribe for more regular reviews just like this, and have a great day.